Man, I can't remember. I think I first saw you on Facebook, and it was at a time in my life where I was going through some transition, been divorced for the third time, so I was getting good at it. But man, just looking for something that really spoke to me, and I've got a treasure trove of books on my bookshelf. I've been all over YouTube, trying to find the first perfect combination of things that could really speak to me. And I don't even know what the first thing is that I saw on Facebook of you, but for whatever reason, I started getting emails from you, and there was a lot of them.
I know what that reason is.
Well, yeah, but no, there was at that time there was a lot of different guys that I was getting emails from, because it was like everything that I saw, like an ad for like, hey, this can get you better, this can get you out of your funk, or whatever. I was clicking on them, so there was my inbox was inundated with just a lot of different guys trying to talk about their program, or this is the way to do it, or and I went down a couple of different paths. But man, you stayed consistent in the messages that you kept sending me. There's every now and again one resonated a little bit more than the other one, and then I guess it was January as my after my first Christmas by myself. I got divorced in the middle of the summer, and man, it wasn't just this divorce that led me to here. This is something that had been, like I said, my third one. There's some stuff that I needed to be working on since probably I was a teenager, or probably before, from a confidence level. So it's and just being secure with myself, and being secure with who I am as a person. So man, I just got to, I don't know if I was having a bad day or just got to the end of my rope, where I was like, man, I've got it's one thing to have all the knowledge in the world in the books, because I can recite Tony Robbins, or I can recite all these other books, and
right.
But to actually have a plan to say, hey man, this is, you got the knowledge, but this is the path you need to go down. And that, a quote by Morpheus, or it's one thing to not have knowledge of the path, it's another thing to walk it, or whatever the quote is from the Matrix. But I think you got to put at some point you got to put some action behind it. I think we've talked about this even too, just passages I've read or books I've read before, or things I've seen in a movie that I've initially glazed over, but until you're ready to hear it, until you're ready to see it, until you're ready to understand it, you do just glaze over it, and it doesn't speak to you the way it can in different parts of your life. And I think for once in my life, I'm at a point where I've actually have a plan whenever I wake up each morning, and I know what I'm going to do, and I know who I'm going to be, and I have a plan of attack to, if I get in a funk during the day, boom. Honestly, this being kind of my first time at throwing, besides, first being my time at a structured program. I've never been in any retreats, never been anything like that, but I've got, like I said, a library full of self-help books, and watch more YouTube videos than probably anybody and my kids do. So, but I was just struggling for a path, and the first time I talked to you, man, you just had so much good energy, but I still, not knowing you and not having you here to, sit down beside. I mean, I've been to counseling and stuff like that before, and not having somebody to sit right in front of me and talk through it with me for an hour, like typical counselors do. I was a little skeptical, didn't know. We talked about just having a couple of structured calls, but you would show up if you felt if I needed you, or but it really exceeded my expectations. We had our first major call like at the 2-week point, but I would think before that we had talked like 3 or 4 times, and constant texts, and I was telling you my victories every night, and you would be sure to get back with me and say, and if I presented it, or if I said something maybe was challenging for me, you'd hit me with a quick slide of something of your deck that we weren't talking about yet. So it was, man, it really exceeded my expectations. And I think my biggest thing was, all the information was good, and I think it just takes a while for yourself to buy into it, right?
Yep.
Because you're trying something new, and you're like, man, this can't be it, right? This can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be this not easy, but because it's hard work and it takes dedication.
Yep.
But it's like, surely this is not the thing that I've been missing, and I think I was fighting myself for a little bit and not believing, and I've been so many down, so many YouTube videos and so many books along the way. Nothing else has happened my whole life. And I was just like, man, this is maybe a different deal. And, I think once I just finally let go and stopped resisting the process and got out of my own way, I mean, I took off the last 3 to 4 weeks have just been like light years I know. Better than compared to my previous, 30 years of having these challenges. So, I mean, I'm just, sometimes you want the growth to go faster, but you got to look at it. I've been this way for probably since I was 10, 12, 13 years old. I'm 43 now. So you're rewiring 30 years of thinking the wrong way. And thanks to you, it's been a blessing for sure. But you show up big time. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And I never felt hesitant to give you a text, to give you a call, to say, hey man, here's what I'm thinking about. Can you help me think through this or logic through this? Or do you have anything for this? And it's been amazing.
Just give it 2 weeks. You'll see in the first week, You'll start to notice something's happening. You'll start to see where this is going. Even the first day, you'll know why you're in the right place.
In the past 2 weeks, especially, I just really buckled down and just said, if we're going to fucking do this, let's fucking do it. And recommit to yourself, recommit to your kids. I mean, and this is my fucking life, and I've got the tools in front of me. Just fucking hammer down and don't accept anything less than the best for yourself. And you've really given me a lot of confidence that I can do anything I want to. And I've proven it. I email myself now, and I keep a folder in my Gmail account. I'll email myself at the end of each day and talk about wins that I have, because the proof is recorded there. And so if I ever feel like, hey man, I can't do this. Yeah, you can. Here's where you did it. And if you can do it once, you can do it every fucking day if you want to. Absolutely. Here's a challenge that came up to you, and here's how you fucking handled it. And it's awesome. It's really awesome. And I think it was in the first week, but definitely by the second week, I remember getting emotional on the phone with you the second week, just because I was just like, I was wanting to go do an elementary school tour and teach this to everybody. Remember, I think I said that. I was like, I don't know why this isn't taught in schools, But at the time you're just like, I understand, hold your horses, you're fired up, but let me just concentrate on building you first. That's most important. And that's tough for me, as a dad and as a somebody that's given, I think, a lot more of myself maybe than I should sometimes. It's tough to kind of be selfish about yourself and put your own, life preserver on, your oxygen mask on before you can help anybody else. But that's what you got to do. You got to put yourself as a priority and think a little bit selfishly, which may not come naturally for some people. But man, it was in the first couple of weeks. But in the first week, for sure, something's changing. I'm not the same cat. And there was no doubt during the course of the 7 weeks, there was challenges that came up. And I know for the rest of my life, there's going to be challenges. I mean, your program's not going to stop the external world from revolving. No. But what you have now is a set of tools. And even today I had a little bit of a challenge, but it was something that would have thrown me for probably a day-long loop earlier. And even 6 months ago, whenever I thought I was, on the road to a better me. But now it was the recovery time was just like, it was 90 seconds or less. And I was back to being cool, And so you've really given me a tool set. Now I know it's my foundation to where, I can now build on that and put more confidence building stuff in there and, kind of customize it the way I want to grow to my next level. But it was quick that was a long way around to saying it was within the first couple of weeks when I started feeling something. That's the best thing in the world. That's how I was actually thinking that tonight because, I think even now, as good as I feel, there's something about coming home because I was like, all right, kind of relieved, I'm at home, nothing can hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I'm like, you know what? Nothing can fucking hurt me whenever I'm out there too. I mean,
Yep.
I've got the skill set. I mean, I'm not a robot. I can still feel emotions, but fuck, man, I can turn it off like that and then get back in control. So, I mean, that's empowerment, man. That's like you said many times, that's a superpower.
Yep.
And it makes you feel invincible, to be able to know that you don't need anybody else, that you can be insular from the exterior world if you choose to be.
Yep.
And it's like you're walking around with a shield and a coat of armor and your little sword, and you just go have so much confidence about yourself. And it's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to think that way after you've been not thinking that way for 30 years, to have that, confidence after 7 weeks that, I can fucking handle anything. But you just prove it to yourself over and over again, right?
Yep. Yeah, man, you got the will and now you got the skill. You've literally become your own version of Rocky Balboa. What makes Rocky fucking dangerous is he's got this fucking unshakable will. Dude, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but it's great. There's a scene in Rocky 2. Remember Rocky 2?
Yeah. Oh
my God, if I haven't mentioned this before, you got to watch this. It'll make you laugh, man. There's a scene in Rocky 2. You remember Rocky 2 was after he beat Apollo. Well, he didn't beat him, but everyone knows he really beat him. So in Rocky 2, Apollo's talking to his manager, and he's like, should I fight Rocky again? Right? He goes, because everyone thinks I really lost. You remember this?
Yeah.
So he's talking to his manager. He goes, what do you think? You think I should go for him? And his manager gets all quiet and walks over to him. And they're like face to face, like, kind of just leaning over his desk. And he goes, listen, he goes, I saw you beat that man like I've never seen a man get beat before. And he just kept coming back after you.
Yeah.
And he goes, we don't need a man like that in our lives. So you had the will and you got the will, but the difference is now you got the skill. What makes Rocky is not only does he have that will, but you remember Rocky 3, how he fought like Mr. T and Ivan Drago? He's got the skill. That's different. Right. A lot of people out there have the will, but they don't have the skill. Now you have the skill. That makes you, by definition, unstoppable. That, by definition, makes you Rocky Balboa. That's the truth.
Absolutely. It's I kind of shifted a little bit. I've always been, for whatever reason in my life, I've always had the will to break any like habit, like if it was eating, or getting back into shape, or smoking, or whatever. I quit cold turkey smoking, like that. I quit drinking like that, or I quit or getting back into and going from the couch to running a marathon like that. Mm-hmm. But I've never been able to do that with emotional stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to applying that same will with the skill that you've given me, and it's been a game changer.
Yep. You become Rocky Balboa, Seth. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. So
it's not as cut up. But
what's that?
So just not as cut up, but that's all right. We'll work on that.
That's the next step. But my other thing I didn't want to forget to tell you, because we're talking about conserving your energy for the right people. My main point I was actually really getting at was, what you went through had to happen for you to do what you did. And because you did what you did, now, dude, for the next, you're 43, for the next, 40, 50, 60 years, you'll actually be able to enjoy your relationships. No pressure, no stress. There's nothing they can take away from you. You're not the mercy of whether they give you or say what you want them to say. You're going to be good either way. That's a different world. But you had to go through that. You had to go through the pain period to do what you did with me. You actually become more unselfish the better you feel.
Sure.
Makes sense?
I can see that. Absolutely. No, I love what you said about trusting, because that's been my biggest issue. And I think the main, it was out of fear of being by myself, right? And not being able to help myself up. And that was one of the biggest things I was so still upset about, is that, I didn't have anybody to pick me up whenever I was at my lowest point, whenever I was drinking every day, whenever I was, marriage sucked and was about to get a divorce. And I just felt like I was abandoned by what was supposed to be my best friend. But if, like you said, if they would have helped me up, I wouldn't be here.
That's right.
And I wouldn't be changing the stuff that I should have changed whenever I was 15 years old, But my my parents didn't give me this skill. And you and I have talked about this many times, and they were fantastic parents, but it's just something we never talked about. Nobody ever taught me how to, dig myself out of a hole, or not to get in the hole in the first place, or how to be confident, or how to carry yourself as a man, and how to be in control of the emotions. I mean, hell, the tail wagged the dog for 30 years of my life. I didn't think I had any fucking control over what was going on. Of course, I don't have any control of the external, but shit, I don't have to be a leaf in the wind just getting bounced all the way around. I mean, that's so gratifying to be able to know that you have a control and a say in your life, and you're the only person that controls the ship. You're steering it, right? I just look back at whenever I, earlier in the fall, whenever I was reading a bunch of books and, thought I had a grip on what I was doing and stuff like that. And I just wanted to get on Facebook and help everybody. And, I got this and this and this and this. And I'm like, fuck, man, I've been on Facebook, but once a week for maybe 5 minutes in the past 5 weeks. And I used to be on it every day, posting something every day, having to, seeing how many likes I got, seeing how many, posting stories so I can see who all viewed it and stuff like that. And I just don't need that validation from anybody, man. I like coming home and just enjoying it. And no, I get you. I just want to enjoy it. I don't have to preach it. I just want to be cool. I think there was, from the second week to probably week 5, it was kind of take 3 steps forward, a half step back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And it was kind of herky jerky there for a little bit. But man, once I put my foot on the gas and just got out of my own way and just had proof after proof after proof after proof that I could control it. I can control my emotions. I can control the length of suffering that I have to go through. You just see that for as many times as you can. I think week 5 through now, or week 4.5 through now, has been just light years past anything I've ever done in my life. Like week 6 and this week, I wrote myself an email at the end of last week on last Friday. It's like, this was the best week I've ever had in my life, and nothing special happened.
There you go. That's it. That's all you want. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
It was just like crystal clear focus at work. Getting stuff done. I took on we just launched another company, and I took on day-to-day responsibilities for it in conjunction with my other job. So before, hell, I had so much going on in my head, so much noise in my head, I couldn't even concentrate. And now to be able to go into work and and be able to do 2 jobs, and still, come out at the end of the day feeling good, and I'll hit, it's been a blessing on all fronts of my life. And I'm now so grateful about, I can look at every single aspect of my life, love, wealth, health. And I'm more focused at work. Whenever I get home, I'm a better dad. I was so busy minded. I couldn't even concentrate on my kids. And I would just sit in here and watch YouTube videos and read books and just not want to have, as sad as that sounds, but I was just trying to get me better. Right. And so I could be a good dad. And now I'm just like, I can come home and we can cook dinner together and we can go have fun. Last weekend, me and took my son to a 10K race that I was running, and we just had a guys weekend and got a hotel room and went out to dinner together and had a dad-son date night. Just been able to concentrate more on stuff like that and just be more productive at work. And then from a love perspective, it's just, I think for my whole life, I've been going, I've gone from, since early 2000s, whenever I first got married, I've been in 3 different relationships, and they've kind of gone all back to back to backs. And I haven't really had time just, for me. And I always thought I had to be out there chasing something, or I had to be out there getting somebody else to complete me. And I was like, man, I've got this.
Yeah.
I've got everything I need inside me, at the deepest level, and, joy, peace, love. And I've got that feeling inside of me. So all now is just trying to find something, else physical to manifest the physical somebody else to accompany that. But like you said, when you get so much confidence in yourself, you're just like, man, if it works, it works. If not, no worries. I don't want to get out there and, spend my time. It's just, chasing and chasing and chasing. I like coming home and reading a book or just watching sports and playing I picked up a guitar again and I've got a list of 20 songs in my refrigerator that I'm learning, like a little set list. And I'm just finding different ways to be in love with me and doing fun stuff with me. So it's been night and day, and it's been a long time coming. But like in the morning, I thank God. Sometimes I get down on myself like, man, why did you wait this long to take control of your life? But then I'm like, man, who cares? I got the rest of my life. I got 40, 50 more years to actually love it and enjoy it. At least I got it at the halfway point and not when I'm 75,
Yeah.
A lot of people retrospectively say, man, why'd I care so much about what other people thought, or why'd I not give a shit and have fun? And I mean, now I've got that. Sure, there's going to be challenges. Sure, I'm going to be, going through loss again, but gosh, I got so much better of a tool set to be able to handle it, not just get completely annihilated. So it's a life changer. I think anybody, I think anybody that's not living life to the fullest, anybody that's at the end of the rope and just looking for an answer because when at the end of the day, when you're in that hole and you feel like there's no anybody else to get you out of it, to know that you're your own hero can be at one time it can sound like the best thing in the world, but when you're in that hole and having somebody say you got to be your own hero, that can sound like the most discouraging thing. Like I can't even get out of bed. How the hell am I going to pick myself up? Right.
Right. Yeah.
But if you got somebody to help you, say, kind of be your Yoda, your Mr. Miyagi, to say, hey man, I know what you're going through. I know how you're feeling. I've got a freaking action plan that if you follow it, there is no doubt that you're going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the only variable here, right?
Yep.
And so if you put in the work, like you said, I remember the first thing you said, if you're in 100%, I'm in 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in the work, you're going to get better. And you're going to do it. I'm going to do it, not somebody else. Not somebody else is going to pick me up. I'm not having to lean on somebody else to make me happy. I'm not having to look to somebody else to say encouraging words. I'm not having to look to somebody else to validate me. I'm able to pick myself up every single day and be my own hero. And I've never been able to do that. So if anybody's not there, everybody could use this course. Whether it's disappointments of your job, loss of a loved one, relationship issues. I mean, like you said, it doesn't matter what the source of it is. Biologically, it's all the same. You're punishing yourself unnecessarily, and you got the power to get up out of there and change it for yourself. And you never lose that skill once you have it. So, I mean, it's invaluable. There's so many times in here during this 7 weeks that I've said I would gladly pay double or triple just for that little nugget right there. Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, I would shout it from the rooftops, and it's such an empowering deal to be able to know that, I can show my kids how to handle themselves moving forward. They can just watch by learning, they can watch by watching dad do it. He's faced challenges and he picks himself up every single time.
Yeah. What a compelling reason to do this. That was one of the things we talked about too the first time. It's like you think about the legacy you're leaving your kids. You really want to, what kind of model do you want to show them of how relationships go? You'll be able to show them a completely different model. A model of, hey, you might not be able to control other people, but you actually can control yourself. And you can have a smile on your face regardless of what happens, doesn't happen. That's a fucking great life. And you'll know you're really setting themselves up to no matter what, enjoy their life. No matter what happens, they can still enjoy themselves every single day. So that's the ultimate legacy you can leave to them.
Absolutely, no doubt. Appreciate, man, the you being my Mr. Miyagi during this deal, and because it's totally changed my life.
It's been a pleasure and it's been an honor, man.